This is Matt Rosen, and this is The Grit Mindset with me, your host, Matt Rosen. The mission of The Grit Mindset is to inspire and empower our listeners by delving deep into the journeys of those who have faced significant challenges and emerged stronger. Through authentic conversations, we uncover the mindsets, strategies, and lessons that have propelled these individuals to overcome adversity and achieve success. My aim is to provide actionable insights and real-world advice to help our listeners cultivate their own grit and navigate their personal and professional lives with confidence and resilience. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of The Grit Mindset with Matt Rosen. I'm super excited to have a special guest with me. I've got Charles Haley. He is the co-founder of Tackle Tomorrow Foundation and obviously an NFL legend. Charles, thanks for coming on the show today.
Hey, Matt. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let's start by telling the audience a little bit about Tackle Tomorrow Foundation and what you guys are doing for the community.
We provide reading. We bring retired reading coaches in to break the kids down in small groups that are behind. We bring books in to hand to each kid. We come in and we bring technology in. My goal is, and Tackle Tomorrow's goal is to take some of the stress off the teachers and be able to empower the kids. I went to school reading 2 grade levels behind in college, and I know what they feel like. I still feel the same way I did when I got to college, when I have to get up and read in front of people. And that nervousness, it'll never leave. And the one thing I did in my life that I'm really, really proud of, the one thing that brings me joy to know is that I got my college degree and nobody helped me. My head coach made sure I went to class, but as far as helping me with my homework, with writing papers and stuff, people look over them, but nobody helped me do it. And the joy that I have, and I gave James Madison my Hall of Fame bus because I want every kid that walked through there to know it's not a privilege, it's not a right, but a privilege, and they need to get their college degree.
Well, it's fantastic what you're doing for the community, and you're working with, 10 different schools here across Dallas to help get kids up to reading level for their grade. Is that right?
Yes. And, we're excited. Most of the time we go to more schools and in Dallas. We're doing God's work, and I'm just proud to be a part of that. I know what chaos is because I was part of a lot of chaos, but now I just feel like God is guiding my feet and my hands, and I just have to keep going.
Well, that's fantastic, and we'll make sure we put some links out there on the podcast to Tackle Tomorrow Foundation. You guys have some great events coming up, and I'm glad to have been asked to be a sponsor of it and get to know you. So let's talk about, kind of some of your early life. You talked about the fact you're a little bit behind in reading, and I know you grew up.
Not a little bit, bro.
Kind of talk about your upbringing and, some stories of what you went through going through school in rural Virginia.
Well, I'm bipolar, but I didn't know that. My brothers were phenomenal athletes. I was fat and short, and I didn't feel like I belonged, and I tried to hurt myself, and I told my mom. She slapped me, and I had to get baptized the next day, and in the country you get baptized in a creek, and it had flooded, and so when we're going out there, you see these trees coming down, the diggers out there pushing, and then you see them pushing, they go underwater. And the pastor told me, you better walk out here on faith. And
look out for floating trees.
Yeah, I walked out there and I went under. It's like night and day. It's like God told me, that he had something special for me. And when I came out, people bullied me. I became the bully. I became the athlete that I always wanted to be. God is just, he just overwhelmed me with so much, and the passion, and I just got an opportunity to go to college. I know I wasn't prepared, but I didn't want to live in that shithole anymore either.
How old were you when that happened, that experience?
I was probably like 12. And, by the time I got 13, my destiny. I was in charge of my destiny after that, because my two hands, my 2 feet, but I always gave God glory, but I was unstoppable.
Yeah, you obviously had a phenomenal career. Did you know then what you were capable of? How did that all play out? Maybe share a little bit of the early story.
Well, for me, I'm very simple. You gotta fill middle school, you gotta finish high school, and then I got a chance to go to college. I never jumped from college to the pros. I just said, okay, I want to be the best, and that drives me. That drive is overwhelming for me. At that standard of excellence that I set for myself. And it still frustrates me because I can never even get close to it. But that was the standard I set. I was very, I would say a little bit very aggressive, and I would hurt players in college, and my coach would make me run. I would run so hard that I would pass out, and then they would have to call the ambulance for me. But I was putting people in ambulances all the time, and then he made me crawl the field, and I would crawl it, and my knuckles, my hand be bleeding because I would do it hard because everything in my mind was saying, okay, he wanted me to get endurance, he wants me to stay low, and then he wants me to run the stadium steps, punishing, and I would say, oh my God, he wants me to get quick feet. And so I was running so hard, then I fell down the stairs because I was running so hard. And he said, what am I gonna do with you? I said, well, I said, you can run me, you can make me crab. I said, but you ain't gonna break my spirit. And he walked off. And then you know what he did?
What's that?
He called my mama.
How was this in college or high school?
In college, my freshman year. Yeah, this is what's amazing. So I'm coming down to practice, and you hear your mama's voice, right?
Oh yeah.
And I heard my mama's voice, and I'm going like, no, it can't be her. She's supposed to be at work. I know she ain't gonna miss no work. And I turned the corner, and she was right there. She looked at me, and I saw her jaws get locked. She walked over and slapped me in front of everybody. And she said, I told you not to bring that crap up here. Don't make me come up here ever again. She said that in front of everybody. And I mean, they were laughing. Hey, but that woman don't play. So I changed my ways. I tried to, I never had friends, and I still didn't have friends. They only talked to 2 guys that I was in college because I was mostly hiding because I had this empty feeling inside of me. I had a lot of pain. Now I know it's because I got a mental illness, but I didn't know how to control that, and I didn't want people to know what I was going through.
What's it been like working through that? I imagine that's kind of a daily struggle.
It's, you know what? Once I admitted to myself that I have a mental illness, I didn't really accept that I had a mental illness because I kept saying, I'm bipolar. But the moment that I stopped saying I'm bipolar and that I have a mental illness, and the only way that I can make myself better is taking my medicine. And it's like taking medicine for diabetes or a heart, and so I had to come to that realization. And then the other thing I had to do is I had to find one thing to live for. Just one.
And what was that?
And that's the relationship with Jesus Christ. So that was my one thing, because I knew if I hurt myself, I couldn't have that relationship. And even to this day, man, because you get your high, but when you get too high, you hit the bottom, and that darkness. Oh man, that's when you got to call on somebody.
Yeah.
And we hide. Most people with mental illness are the biggest con in America, because you know what? They make you seem like nothing is going wrong, or that they hiding that emotion, and I blame some of it on the way I grew up, that my mom said men don't cry, and you don't supposed to let people know how you feel, and so when you get, and then you're a football player, you're supposed to be tough, and
Right.
so I thought I was just being a football player. I didn't realize that what was going on inside.
Yeah. But it sounds like your mom, while she was tough, was a good role model, kept you in line. But
Oh yeah, my dad, he was a man of very few words, and I mean very few words. Hey, I keep telling him, I said, Pop, I said, if you spoke 1,000 words to us, I'd be amazed. And he was one of those guys that demonstrated and then leave.
yeah,
He showed us how to ride a horse and stuff. And I'm more of a visual guy, and so I got it. I took off on a horse. He didn't tell us how to stop, so I took off and I kicked that horse and I took off. And just before we got to the barbed wire fence, he stopped on me and threw me off, and I didn't go into. I just barely missed that, and then I figured out what to do after that point.
Did you get on a horse after that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And, hey, my head is hard.
Well, you're on the grit mindset, and I like to ask every guest I have on, what does grit mean to you, both personally, professionally, however you want to describe it?
Grit means that all the obstacles that are in your way, are you going to quit, or are you going to move those obstacles out of your way? And that's what true grit is. True grit is not bowing down to pressure, success or failure. Because, after failure comes success. And the more times you fall down, the more, because if I'm gonna fall down, I'm falling forward because my feet gonna keep moving.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep climbing. So that's what I do. I just think that it's just ball them up, be ready to fight your way to the top.
Yeah. So after your mama came and slapped you that day at James Madison, what happened next? What did that drive for you for the rest of your college career and going forward?
Like I said, I wanted my degree, so I joined a fraternity that you have to keep a 2.5 to stay in. And my wife, she was a bookworm, so we was in the library all the time, and I just wanted to get my degree because I wanted to have something so I didn't have to go back there. But God, he stepped in. We used to go over there and play UVA.
Yeah.
I'll go over there and rock them. And so the reason why I got to go into the NFL, the head coach in UVA got me into the NFL because he said, y'all need to go over there. And they got a linebacker, 87, over there that really can play. And so the 49ers came over and asked me to run a 40. So I ran a 4.47, and then I ran a 4.48 on grass. And
That's fast.
No,
For me, it's fast.
I just thought that was average.
Yeah. So you ran that, and that began the career in the NFL.
But the worst part of the whole deal is that the Giants, so the 49ers Giants, they gave me $50 for work. Told me take my wife out, and then
That's what the Giants told you.
No, the 49ers, their scouts did that.
Yeah.
The Giants called me up, right? I had to go to the airport in Harrisonburg and fly to Dulles, and then Dulles to New York. It was a crop. It was like a 2-seat, 3-seat crop plane. My God, it was going like this. I said, "Oh Lord Jesus Christ, just get me down, get me down." I ain't prayed so much in my life.
Your first time on a plane?
First time, and then you know what? I get on one of them little suckers, man. And so I had to make an executive decision if I was gonna get on another plane.
In Dulles.
Yeah, and but I did. So I go up there. Nobody talked to me. They took me in, did a Cybex, and put me right back on the plane. And so I'm going like, people tell me, "Oh yeah, you're gonna get drafted in the first, second round like that, right?" And I'm going like, ain't nobody talked to me. And so the 49ers called me in the second round said, we're going to draft you, right? The second round goes, they called and said, we're going to draft you in the third round. Third round, so the third round passed. So me and my wife, we went to the movie theater. So my roommate come running down there talking about, hey, the 49ers drafted you and they want to talk to you. I said, well, when we finish our movie, we coming, right? Because we rode our bicycles down there, so we had to ride our bicycles back. So I called them later on, and I had to get on the next plane, and hey, man, you talking about grit. I got to San Francisco. I never met a Hispanic person, an African American person. I never met another race. And so I get there, I get off the plane, and I ask this white guy where the baggage claim. He starts speaking another language. I asked this black guy, he's speaking another language. I was terrified. So I went back to the gate trying to figure out how can I get back home. And John Gruden, he came to the gate to get me, man. I mean, like, going from Gladys to San Francisco, man,
that must have been a culture shock for
sure.
Oh
my God, man. Hey, you know what? I didn't have no grit that day, dog. I was ready. I threw up my hands. I'm out. I'm done.
So to talk about, maybe, there's a lot of, it was awesome seeing it in the Cowboys documentary, but talk about some of the maybe grittiest things you had to go through being in the NFL. Maybe one or two stories to share that people don't know.
Well, the injuries, I had, I herniated my disc, and I continued to play. And my last Super Bowl one, I herniated my disc, and then 3 weeks after that, I played in the Super Bowl. Because I told my teammates I would never forsake them. And I think that's one thing that my teammates know about me is there's no quit. I can overcome pain.
Yeah.
Because I compartmentalize pain. I could put it in a corner. And I think that was the hardest thing that I had to do. The other things is just, man, I'm so daggone proud of my teammates. We all went through a lot of things together. We had a lot of things we had to overcome, and they believed in me. Jerry Jones. I come here, and Jerry Jones tells me he got my back. I just, and then the thing that bothered me is that the racial part of it. When I went to the San Francisco, I thought it was going to be liberal. I just put it together that these coaches come from all around,
right? So
they bring that with them. I'm thinking like everything's going to be cool, and I don't have to deal with that black, white, all that stuff, man. But it was a learning experience doing that, and but the men that I played with, man, the leaders.
Who was the most influential, do you think?
Ronnie Lott.
Yeah.
Ronnie Lott and Joe Montana. I walked in the league, and I didn't know. We was in church, so only player I knew was Mean Joe Green, which we were really good friends. And that's why I'm a defensive player. But Ronnie Lott took me on his wings. But when I got there, Joe, Ronnie, Jerry, like the first week or so there, they playing with me like I've been there for years. And I couldn't understand that. And then we went to the first game, that program, because I was scared. So I opened that program and I started looking at it. And I saw Joe had 8-9 pages, Ronnie, Jerry Rice, and I had to get up, go look at these guys. And that's when it really hit me that they see something in me that I couldn't see.
Yeah.
And Ronnie Lott really, really, really honed my skills. And and pushed me. He kept pushing me. And, I really didn't need to be pushed, but he kept pushing me. He wanted a little bit more out of me. How do you reach your goals? How, he's not telling me. He keep asking me, what are you going to do now? How you going to attack? And so by the time I left, I knew how to break down every player's weaknesses, and I understand their strengths. But you know what? I had no weaknesses, and in my mind, only got strengths, and you got to try to take those away.
Yeah. So you had to look within and find your weaknesses and fix those. And what was that process like?
Hey, you know what? That's what true grit is.
Yeah.
Is looking at a situation and not looking at the problem. I look for solutions. If I can't find a solution, then I may go ask somebody. But I'm not going to stare a problem down. I'm not going to look a problem dead in the eye and let it overcome me. Because I know there's a solution. I just got to be patient and push through, keep pushing. It'll come to me. And that's what I really learned to do around guys like that, leaders.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't have a leader in your life to show you what you have to do and how you move men, I was just, it's amazing how men like that can get in front of you and talk, and everybody just shh. And then you start to want to emulate them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to have role models like that. So sounds like Ronnie and Joe were a huge impact on your life and your career. What was it like coming to Dallas and then ultimately then going back to San Francisco? Maybe walk me through that a little bit.
Well, I was on the plane, and I was dejected because I'm leaving the team of the 80s, and I'm coming to Cowboys. I know nobody's here. Didn't know the owner, didn't know any of the players, and I'm coming to a team. I left the team that I knew, and I'm coming to a team, and I realized that I'm going to take somebody's job.
Yeah.
So now that's going to make a lot of people mad. So, you have to process those little things like that in order to overcome the challenges. But like I said, Jerry Jones told me he got my back. Mm-hmm. So rest, he already took what I needed to hear to be able to push past all of it, because I don't care.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, I challenged everybody. Hey, this is where we're going. They asked me, let me see your Super Bowl ring. I said, no, let's go win one.
Yeah.
And so that was who I am. I'm a they call me a butthole, whatever. The day I first got here, those guys were in the jacuzzi talking about me. And so I get there and I open up the jacuzzi door and they talking about me, and it really hurt my feelings. But 90-some% was, they were right, man. But I had to go out. I had to teach them. I ain't the one. There can only be one, and I'm that. And so I went and I had just had knee surgery like 2 days before I got traded. So I didn't supposed to practice. I didn't supposed to play. But they made me so mad. I got in a one-man jacuzzi tub, and I got dressed and I went out. And I went they was in the middle of the field stretching and stuff. I went all the way into the back of the end zone by myself. And because I'm the God I am, I got to visualize. I got to see myself being successful. I got to verbalize. I got to tell somebody I'm going to be the best. And then they can hold me accountable, and they go like, well, you back there by yourself. Well, I said, Chuck and Charlie was back there too. So, they were gonna hold me accountable. And I went out there and got the respect that they wouldn't give me. I took it.
Yeah.
And you know what, when you take something, you know what, hey, they can't take it back.
No.
So that was the big day for me. Is like your show, True Grit. I had to show them that no matter what, about my knee or whatever, hey, you got to see the man, because I'm coming down here at 230 pounds. You're going to minimize me. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Well, you had a great career here. What was it like after winning 5 Super Bowls, transitioning out of the NFL and figuring out what to do next?
Oh my God, it was horrifying. I was not prepared to do anything else, man. And I saw myself as a failure. I didn't know what direction to go. I never tried to do anything else as I was playing. So when I got out, it was complete emptiness. And you know who really helped me is Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
He would call me and say, Charles, how can I help you? What do you want to do? I said, well, I want to coach. He got me the coach's job in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just call me going like, Charles, what can I do? And he called me like the day before he died and asked me, what can he do to help me?
Wow.
I still can't understand that type of love because I don't know what I did to make this man treat me that good. And so it stuff like that, it really get in my head because I feel like I don't deserve God's grace like that.
Well, sounds like you accepted him and showed you a path. So,
Yeah.
and had a lot of great friends along the way. You and I talked about earlier, you've got 4 kids. What have you done to instill grit within them? It's something I always like to ask everyone who's got kids on the show, because something I think about all the time with mine.
Yeah, well, it was my way or the highway. And I would tell them, you know what? Your mom loves you unconditionally. I love you as long as you do what I say. And so they learned quickly. I don't believe in hitting the kids. So I would put their shoes in every car. And if they get to fighting or arguing in the car, I would pull over in the neighborhood, throw their shoes and them out of the car, and they had to follow the car. Hey, let me tell you, even to this day, when I hit them brakes, they're going like, okay, what's going on? What's going on?
What's the longest you made them follow the car?
I think my 2 oldest, probably about 3 miles. I made them run till they to pretty much they almost fell out.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not going to teach you 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
To do something. It's like, okay, if you're not going to listen, then guess what? Let's do this.
Yeah.
And then I trained them sports wise.
Yeah.
So I trained them how to be disciplined, how to see, how to attack, and I try to tell them that it builds character. And stability. I said people like people that overcome things in their life, and they like people that challenge themselves. And athletes do that a lot. And so just by that, you get a lot of respect. And my kids, I'm proud of all of them. They are doing very well. My youngest at Stanford, my oldest work for Microsoft, and my son is in corporate, commercial real estate, and my other daughter's a 5-star trauma nurse.
Wow.
She had leukemia, so and she overcame that. So, I was a coward then because I really didn't help my wife because we would go in there, they would do the spinal taps, and she would scream.
Oh my goodness.
She would scream, man, and I'm a coward. And then I see blood, I pass out. And it's crazy, huh? I can believe, but then when I see my kids, man, and I just couldn't take it. I couldn't go in there anymore. And I still feel like I failed her because I wasn't there. And I'm mad at everybody because I couldn't get a match from African Americans because they still stuck and stupid about Tuskegee and don't realize that they need to be a part of the process going forward.
But she's okay today?
Huh? Oh yeah. She's a daddy's girl. She drives me crazy though.
Well, no, it's tough seeing the ones we love suffer. So as we're kind of wrapping up here, if you were to look back and talk to yourself way back in junior high school, is there anything you'd tell yourself, a younger Charles?
Seek help.
Yeah.
Don't hide your emotions, your feelings. Open up. That would be the first thing I do. The second thing is I should have, no matter whether my parents value education or the teachers did, I should have showed some grit and pushed myself through that. Only took things that I can memorize a lot of stuff, and so the things I couldn't remember, I didn't memorize, then I had problems with, and I didn't try to overcome those problems.
Yeah. Well, it sounds, all things considered, you've made it a long way and learned a lot and touched a lot of folks. As we're wrapping up this episode of The Grit Mindset, any thoughts you would share with our listeners?
Yeah, when he says true grit, guys, guys and girls, all he's saying is that stop looking at problems. Stop looking at problems. And, once you stop doing that, you'll understand that you're in control of your life. Then you have to look down inside. You have to look down inside, figure out the problems, and then guess what? Breathe. Hey, every day I wake up in the morning, I read some positive affirmation. Every day I wake up, I send to the Cowboys, the 49ers players, I send positive affirmation because I want them to understand that the moment you walk out that door, it's going to be somebody to tell you something negative. So you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And that is something that I've learned over time because I never loved another man. I never truly loved anybody. I had to learn that lesson because through love is where you find passion. That's where you find true grit because you're willing to step out of your zone and help somebody else.
That's awesome. Such a powerful message. Well, Charles, thanks for all you do for the community. Man, it was awesome watching you play all those years. Honored to have you as a guest on the show.
Well, thank you. You look like you're nervous, man. You know what? I'm fat now, so you ain't got to worry about me.
Don't have to worry about you taking me down after the show.
Yeah,
I didn't forget to ask you something.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's I really, when you told me about this, I said to myself, you know what? This is going to be a great day because we all need to learn how to manage stress.
Yeah,
and push through it.
Yeah, well, you're a great example of that, and appreciate you sharing your story. And for all our listeners out there, this is going to conclude this week's episode of The Grit Mindset. This is your host, Matt Rosen, signing off. Stay gritty out there.
In a world where IT can feel like just another sales pitch, PCA Technology Solutions does things differently. We call it the PCA way, and it's rooted in 4 unique focuses that make your business smarter, stronger, and more secure. IT should never be a mystery. Through quarterly roadmap meetings, continuing education, and guided procurement, we help business leaders and end users make smarter choices. When you understand what your IT is doing for you, it becomes an asset, not a headache.